but you've already won the battle, and you've got great plans for me. Though I can't always see.
Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me within Its Likeness. And I'm gonna love teaching this subject because it's a subject that I love teaching about, and that is the fruit of the spirit. And so I called this one is Fruit for Life. And this particular root study, it'll be a couple of them, but I'm not going to get completely into the fruit, but as the fruit as a whole. And so as I go through this, I want to talk about what we seek in life, what we long for. And in talking about what we long for, all of us long for quality of life. All of us long for success, and all of us long to live a prosperous life. All of us long for happiness and joy and peace. And even finances, all of these things that we long for to be able to get our needs met. And so as we're seeking these things, success really is in Christ. And all of these things that we seek are wrapped up into holiness. And as we seek holiness, then we will find the secrets of the kingdom. And so I want to talk a little bit about the secrets of life. And that is the fruit of the spirit. But I want you to understand, why is it a secret of life? Okay, so God has already given us the secrets of life. And that is only because, and we only get them secrets in Christ. That's why Jesus talked in parables. And so I want to read a section here in Matthew 13. It says, the disciples came to him and asked, why do you speak in parables? And Jesus told them, he said, because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has been given more, they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he have, will be taken from him. And this is why I speak in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear, and they do not understand. In them is fulfillment of the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be hearing, it says, in them is the prophecy of Isaiah. So Isaiah prophesied this. And he's going to talk about how even back then they don't have what we have. But he talked about it beforehand. He said, you will be hearing, but never understanding. You will be seeing, but never perceiving. For these people's hearts have become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they may see with their eyes and hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I will heal them. But blessed are the eyes because they see, and your ears because you hear. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but do not see it, and to hear what you hear, but do not hear it. Now, I said all that to say this. We have been given the secrets of kingdom. And that kingdom is in the spirit. It is in the fruit of the spirit. It is in Christ. And we have been given that. So we have to become spiritual people. We have to get to the spirit of the matter. It's not that, it's not about our understanding with our intellect. And I know that's a hard thing for a lot of people to deal with, is that they can't get to this with their understanding. But this is something that is a spiritual matter. And the quality of our life is going to depend on the level of our faith. And so as we get into Christ, and as we yield to him, and as we have faith in him, and as we walk in the quality of life, and as we walk in holiness, then that's when the success, the joy, the peace, and all of these things, this is where they lay at. Holiness is not a bunch of things that we do to look righteous, or acts that the church gives as a religious part of ceremony. Or God would love for us to just skip the ceremony and just be spiritual people. Okay, so as simple as it sound on the fruits of the spirit, because I believe it goes right over a lot of people's head, and we look over the fruit of the spirit and we give them the definitions of what we see in life and the way we think. But one of the secrets is, it says the fruit of the spirit. It doesn't say the fruit of our understanding, the fruit of the way we feel, the fruit of what we see or what we hear. It is the fruit of the Spirit. And so, as simple as it may sound, I don't want us to take for granted the characteristics of God as a light matter. God is God because of these very characteristics, and He has given them to us. And then the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. And against such there is no law. And that caught me right there. Against such there is no law. We can walk above the law, walking in these characteristics. Literally walk above the law, walking in these characteristics. And it says, and those who are Christ's have crucified the flesh and its passions and its desires. And it says, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. And I want to just take a second to separate that. I don't want to teach on it because that is a separate subject in its own. It says, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. That signifies that there's two different things there. We can live in the Spirit and not walk in the Spirit. How do we walk in the Spirit? And that's walking in holiness. Okay, so, people do a lot of crazy things. We do a lot of crazy things for love, and, this is the way we feel, and just pump, pump, and just, it just got to be right. But really, it may not be right. Living by the way we feel is such a deception. I mean, I know God, gave us our emotions and our thinking, but if we're not using them according to our spirit, they're going to get off. They're going to get way off. And so I want us to take a look at something. I want us to look at things. We've been looking at things from the outside in. I want us to look at them from the inside out. We have the Spirit of God living on the inside of us. We have everything we need to pursue our desires. We have everything we need to have the quality of life. It says God has not given us, God has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness. And, that's not a light matter. That's not being out of touch with reality. That's not being out of touch with getting the things we want in this life. That's telling us how to get everything we want in this life. So, I want to take a look at something. For example, if anybody noticed that I have my sweater, my shirt on backwards, there's a reason for that. Just like we put on our clothes, and we put them on backwards, we put them on inside out. That's no different than walking in this world and not walking in the Spirit. We're walking backwards. We're putting on we're putting on our armor backwards. We're living outside, but yet we have everything on the inside. That's no different than how you see me right now. And then, sometimes we raise our kids in this backwardness, and it feels good and it looks good, but it ain't good. Okay, so I want to take a minute. I want you to meet my grandkids. Just one moment. Okay, I wanted y'all to meet my grandbabies. Come on, y'all. Come on, Jaleel, Ariel, Jacob. Everybody say hi. Come over here. Say hi. If you notice, they got their shirts on backwards too. So, I'm kind of backwards. So I'm going to raise backwards dressing kids. Y'all want to say something? Say hi. Hey. Hey. Say hi. Y'all, anybody want to say anything?
Hi.
No? Okay.
I do play I'm gonna play football next year.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we're going to be blessed to see you playing. Okay. I see y'all. Thank you. Just want to introduce my beautiful grandbaby.
Can we change our shirt now?
Yes, you can.
I don't have to.
Okay. Thank you. I hope everyone kind of understood a little bit of that little example that I put in there. It was really seemingly simple, but just them little bitty things, builds up and adds up, and they will think, as we're their teachers. So if we're not being taught of God, we're teaching them worldly ways, and then it goes down to them and their children and their children. My thing is I want to leave a legacy of faith. I want to leave the right things. They're going to be children, and they're going to not receive a lot of things we say. So we might as well give them the right things so that then when things happen, they know what to fall back on. I don't know if anybody got that or if I said it right, but I do want most of us to kind of get the picture. Now, a lot of us and most of us do understand the natural part of things, but I want us all to be aware of the spiritual part of things as well. You know, now we are a spirit, we have a soul, and we live in a body, and they were all meant to work together. And whichever one we feed the most, that's the one that's going to lead. It says here, to be carnally minded is death, but be spiritually minded is life and peace. That's in Romans 8. So, I really want us to be able to walk in the spirit, not just to live in the spirit, but to walk in the spirit. The fruits of the spirit is a supernatural force. It is the very nature and characteristics of God. Is how God put holiness in the world. And so, and we can't obtain it from the world, but we can only get it from God. The world have an appearance of life. They have an appearance of goodness, but really it only comes from God. All good things come from God. We choose what rules we live by, who we live by, what we are slaves to. If we sow to the flesh, we will reap flesh. If we sow in the spirit, we will reap the spiritual things. So whichever one we feed the most, that's what we'll get. I remember, I think this was my pastor who said this. He said, what you sow is the harvest you will grow. I believe that was my pastor that said that, Pastor Curtis Longstreet. But I heard Kelly Copeland say once, I was looking at her program, she said, when you yield to the fruit of the spirit, you abandon the cravings of the flesh. So as we go through these fruits, you have to understand that this is not just something we do and we just wake up every day and, oh, we're going to walk in love. No, it's a powerful thing. It rules. It says, against such there is no law. They are powerful. So, just like Kelly Copeland said, when you walk in the spirit, you abandon cravings of the flesh. So we put them up under our feet. We don't have to walk in the things that bother us, hurt us, or, all the things that the enemy would love. He said he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. So I'm not sure how many minutes I got, but I'm going to go ahead and end here. But I'll see you next time. And hopefully this wasn't too long. I love y'all.
'Cause I got a couple dents in my fender, got a couple rips in my jeans, try to fit the pieces together, but perfect